Step right up, my friends, for a Spectrum Spectacular. We are relying on this hero to be a more charismatic successor to Brie Larson and to deliver victory in this deck style. We have a Pool 1 list here that is going to let you get started immediately dominating your opponents, but then we're also going to show how you can upgrade this deck as you reach Pool 2 and then supercharge it in Pool 3. We have a very spicy deck list for Pool 3 that can settle you into that late game meta. We've got timestamps if you want to jump around, but we're going to dive right into it. Our headline card, Spectrum on reveal, give your ongoing cards +2 power. If set up correctly, she will be able to provide an enormous burst of power if we are able to fill up our board with a lot of very cheap ongoing effect cards. So if anything has the ongoing in bold, then the card is tagged with ongoing and Spectrum will be able to provide the buff. Important to note, if you get hit by Enchantress or something else that cancels out the card, it's not considered to have the ongoing tag anymore. So it can be a little bit tricky in these niche situations, but again, it is quite niche, and so we're going to start breaking things down with what we've got here. Ant-Man, just one of the most effective one-drops, period, but he also has the ongoing tag to be able to absorb that Spectrum buff. Nightcrawler is here because of how flexible he is, getting into locations you can't play to directly, and he also has the synergy with Angela, who, I mean, stop me if you've seen this before, Queen of Efficiency. We're trying to work her into effectively every single Pool 1 deck that we build. We can play Nightcrawler to her location, bamf him to another location, and then follow up with something else to Angela to continue giving her those buffs. Armor is allowing us to mess with self-destruction decks, is also a cheap way to be able to receive the Spectrum buff, can potentially protect our one-drops, especially from Elektra, who's very popular. In Pool 2, you're looking at Killmonger, being able to decimate the Pool 1 population, or the one-drop population, so the armor is effective at protecting us there, also for helping out with some key locations. Colossus is also a cheap way to be able to get the ongoing tag and a nice buff. He's able to punch through all the locations that would nerf the power of your card, also giving us some flexibility there. Lizard is a great stat line until the opponent is able to fill up their side of the location, but he's still ongoing, even if the ongoing, you don't want the ongoing to trigger in his case, but the tag allows him to absorb the Spectrum buff. We have Mr. Fantastic giving us more global pressure across all the lanes, another cheap way to be able to bring it in. Captain America is here instead of Punisher. They have effectively the same trigger effect, but Captain America, we have more control over being able to trigger his buff because we can make sure that we play into his location, and especially marrying up with the Ant-Man, build the super team of the block and they become incredibly effective. Cosmo gives us a little bit of control against the opponent and is still absorbing that buff as the ongoing tag. Namor here is a powerhouse of efficiency, playing him solo to a location. We're counting on the opponent needing to invest more energy than the 4 to be able to surmount him, and he's also here to be able to absorb the buff, so we can punch him up to 12. If Mr. Fantastic is helping out, then that's 14 power at his location solo. Very hard for the opponent to be able to surmount that. Iron Man does double duty with the buff, because if he gets the +2, he's also doubling that, so he is a game-winning condition, and then of course we have our Spectrum. Diving into battle here to see how the deck plays out, we've got my deck list up above. This is the one that I feel is best optimized for Pool 1, but if you want to talk any card substitutions, deck optimization, leave me a comment down below. Small channel here, advantage is that I can read all the comments, get back to you. I love talking anything snap down there in the comments. We'll throw the Colossus, well, he's not gonna, well, hang on. The Colossus will stay at Mojo World. Anything else that we play here is gonna get pulled aside by the Bifrost, but this could give us a head start on actually filling Mojo World that the opponent might not be able to match. Could be a nice route for us. Dream Dimension. Dream Dimension throws off our power curve quite a bit, actually, because it means we're not going to be able to play the Iron Man. We do have the Namor here that we'll be able to go into next. Definitely want to leverage his efficiency, playing him out solo in the location where Mr. Fantastic is lending that helping hand. And we see the Spectrum. It's so good. Okay, we really want to draw the Ant-Man. Because we want the Ant-Man and then the 2-drop Lizard or Armor. That's going to be our entire turn 5 because Dream Dimension is going to mess up our power curve. We would have loved to be able to deploy the Iron Man to get the doubling and the effect, etc., but it's not going to work. Dream Dimension cracks your plans. I hate Dream Dimension. Now, obviously, it's hurting the opponent as well, so you have to take the good with the bad. And here it is. Ant-Man. Ant-Man. Alright. It's Captain America. Captain America is better than playing just one of these guys. Oh. What's the game? Do you put pressure on Mojo World expecting the opponent not to be able to spam out the bodies to fill it up? Or do you play up against both Bishop and Angela at the Bifrost? Both of those sound terrible. Okay, it's Mojo World then. If we had the Iron Man, I would have felt so much better at playing into the Bifrost. Here they go with the Ant-Man and the Korg. Looks like it might be lights out here, guys. Sad to say. There's one card off is the Ant-Man. I could have had you and the armor. I could have been filling it up with the buffing everybody, and I'm not going to snap, but I think it's pretty solid. We get the Spectrum coming in here, hitting the board, buffing every single card on the board. Really, the carry here looks like it's Namor, punching through with a 14 strength at the location for 4 cost. I mean, that is psycho, right? Please don't be Mr. Sinister. I swear, if it's Mr. Sinister, ha! We got it! Spectrum hitting the board there, being able to distribute 8 points, plus her 5 base. I mean, that is a solid swing, and we were able to outfox our opponent. All right, now we are leveling up into Pool 2. Honestly, the upgrades here are subtle. We are bringing in Shang-Chi, a staple of our Pool 2 options. We have Warpath here. Now, you might still actually want to run Namor instead of Warpath. We're bringing him in here to just flex the same cost spot. He doesn't play solo. Instead, you want to leave a completely empty location, and he's able to combo with some of our other cards in more consolidated blocks. So it's a different play style. I want to be able to showcase how it works. We're also bringing in Ebony Maw here, a 1/7. Insane stat efficiency, but debilitating ongoing effect. You can't play this after turn 3. That's just in hand, that's a passive. And then ongoing, you can't play cards here to the location whatsoever. So, this is in a little bit of a sticky situation, and when you deploy Ebony Maw, we'll see how well that really works out with Warpath. But this, again, is showcasing, similar to Lizard, how you can have negative ongoing effects, but still be able to use those cards to absorb the Spectrum buff. Observe the buff. All right, let's get into this. Into battle here, we are playing on the Super Teddy account. This means we're up against opponents with full access to Pool 3, playing at infinite rank. They're hitting us with their best stuff. We'll see if we're able to hang with them. My goal is to be able to still showcase the play style for the deck, and then obviously it's going to perform better for you guys taking it into just a Pool 2 environment. We've got the Angela Warpath and then a Dud Rock. I hate seeing Subterranean, one of my least favorite locations. I think that this deck does have the ability to compete at Pool 2. It falls off a little bit, and then it gets way more powerful with some supercharging cards in the Pool 3 category. And I can't wait to be able to showcase that the deck list next. Mini Lab. Honestly, let's just go Angela here. We want to leave one location completely open to facilitate the buff on the Warpath. So really we're only looking at trying to fill 8 spaces on the board. And the Mini Lab, I'm fine just abandoning, especially if they're going to put a lot of energy onto the Sunspot here. Let's play Mr. Fantastic, try and win Asgard. If we win Asgard, we can hopefully get the draw opportunity to be able to cut through all these rocks, giving us blanks. And then just hope that the rocks are also giving the opponent blanks. We surpass the opponent there. Goose, hey? I hate this. Goose preventing me from playing anything that is 4, 5, or 6 cost. So I'm stuck to just these baby cards. Is there actually a world where I drop a rock to get the extra buff on the Angela right now to try and win it? There might be. But then the opponent knows exactly what they need to be able to do to beat me. I don't know, what other drop would do we have that's better? Well, obviously it would be something like Colossus. A little bit more power in that kind of situation. What does the opponent have that's going to be able to top what we're building? Hopefully nothing. Alright, we're holding off on the rock. Risk it for the biscuit. We do win Asgard here. Unless, what does this have? Wong. Why do we have to play the Cosmo to Asgard when we could have played Cosmo to the Wong to be able to just blank the opponent? Okay. I'm frustrated, and I'm a little bit mad. But here we just go... Ooh. Interesting. We could go... Like, how powerful is this Iron Man looking to be? The Iron Man is going to go nuts. But we could equally play Warpath, plus, as I said, the Rock, to be able to get the buff off the Angela. And then we drop the Spectrum to be able to buff Ant-Man. Wow, it's very tight as to what we want to play here. I think the Iron Man is warranted. We have no idea what the Wong combo card is going to be. It's just Iceman. Iceman, gonna trigger twice here. Is the opponent... What happened? I'm gonna assume that it was a lot of rocks that damaged their opportunities. I feel great. Spectrum comes in here. The opponent has retreated. Victory. Guys, Spectrum was going to hit the board, buffing these cards by 4, which is then going to get doubled to 8, and then put another 4 over here to the Asgard side of the board. 5 herself also doubled on the Iron Man. We took it to him in Pool 3. Here is the supercharged Pool 3 version, the final evolution as you were of the Spectrum deck list and story time. This deck list all came about because of Punisher. Now, back in the beta, there was a mission to be able to progress the battle pass that required you to be able to win with the Punisher. So the deck building masterminds cracked their brains open to be able to figure out how you can build a competitive deck with Punisher, because a lot of people don't think this card is very good. And it turns out that they discovered the Wong going archetype. The idea is to be able to play all of the cheap ongoing cards, Spectrum and Wong. Wong makes your on-reveal abilities, which is Spectrum, trigger twice, meaning that Spectrum is going to be able to pop off +4 to every single card with an ongoing ability, but Wong is an ongoing effect, so Spectrum will also be able to buff the Wong. It's absolutely beautiful, and it goes bonkers when you incorporate Mystique as well. If Mystique can copy the Wong's ability, that means Spectrum is going to trigger 4 times, going just absolutely insane, +8 to all of your ongoing cards. That's a game-winning scenario right there. Mystique also is just such an efficient ongoing card, a great boon for any list running ongoing abilities. So her being able to copy the Iron Man is another win condition for us. We also have been able to bring in a couple more cheaper ongoing cards like the Quinjet. It's just a 1-cost ongoing card. We're not planning on using it for its ability at all. It's just a receptacle for the Spectrum buff. We also have Mojo being able to be just a very efficient card on his own right, another 2 costs that can absorb the buff. Goose, leveraging a little bit of control against the opponent, restricting them to only being able to play 1, 2, and 3 costs at that location. What else do we have here? We have the Lizard as before, the Cosmo leveraging the control as before, the armor for protection, Ebony Maw maintains his spot, and the Ant-Man is here as well. I really hope that I'm able to do the deck justice because it is so much fun to be able to play with. We get the Spectrum in hand. That is fantastic to see that is banked up. We have the Mystique as well, just missing the Wong for the true high roll. I would love to be able to get that involved here. Opponent showing Blade and cutting the Swarm is devastating to us because they're going to be able to play the Swarms for free and absorb that. We got the Wong! Okay. Calm down. You just have to pilot this right now. You play Ebony Maw because you can't lose any tempo. You can't pause for a breath to be able to get enough cards out here on the board. They go Calling Wing. This is going to be a Swarm, exactly as predicted. The Soul Read on the opponent. They probably look to set up Hellfire Club with the Wong Mystiques. Oh. No. Why have you done this to me, Mini Lab? I can't play here. And now with Ebony Maw, I cannot play to the Mer Island either. So we have to do an awkward turn 3 pass. I get the Swordmaster. It cuts, yeah. So this means you're playing Ghost Rider? Are you playing Ghost Rider or are you also playing Hella? Could be either way, I suppose. We'll go Wong here. On turn 6, the Mini Lab opens up, but I guess we can still hope to be able to pick up a nice little 2-drop. They also have Apocalypse. What is going on? This discard list is off the chain. Oh, we got the Lizard. Okay, that's actually quite fun. So Mystique's going to copy the Wong. We play the Lizard. We'll then play the Spectrum. Opponent snapping. Yeah. They're in a good position. So the combo is fairly complex to be able to get the true high roll to keep up with these other Pool 3 decks. You can do it. This deck is so much fun. They only bring out the Swarm. They really wanted that Infinite, but the Swarm is one of the options as well, my friend. Needed to be prepared for that one. Now all we got to do is drop the Spectrum. Is it going to be enough? Because we're getting +16 to Mer Island, taking us up to... Yes. It is enough. It is enough! In spite of our misplace, in spite of the early Ebony Maw, Spectrum is gonna deliver. What do they have? They have nothing. It's the Apocalypse, it's a free Swarm. It doesn't matter. Here we go. Spectrum, that's 1. That's 2. She goes 2 more times. It's +8 to every single card with an ongoing ability. Oh... What a end. Guys, the Wong going is the real deal here in Pool 3. Here is the supercharged Pool 3 version of Spectrum, the final evolution as it were. This deck is so much fun. And you know, stepping back from the high of winning that last game, it is a complex combo. It's not perfectly consistent. It can be countered by both Cosmo and Enchantress. But it's not to say that you can't still climb with this deck. Teddy Ninja's seal of approval, you can climb with this deck. You just have to be very confident in understanding the workings of the deck, knowing when to retreat and when to snap to really maximizing your opportunity to climb, which by the time you're in Pool 3 and once you get a handle on this deck, you will certainly be able to do. Let me know down in the comments how these decks serve you if you guys give them a try. Also, if you enjoy this style of video where I take a deck and upgrade it through all of the pools, I want to be able to make the best content that you guys are interested in. So if you show some love to the video, that helps promote it to the rest of the community. That means so much to me. Till next time, thank you guys for watching and keep on snapping.